I've never been careless about security. That's important to say up front, because if I heard this story from someone else, I'd assume they were. I lock my doors. I double-check them. I live on the second floor of a quiet apartment building, the kind where nothing ever happens and everyone assumes nothing ever will. The most excitement we get is when Mrs. Hargreave downstairs forgets her laundry in the washer overnight. So when I say I left my window open 1 inch, I don't mean it casually. I mean measured. It was late August. Hot enough that the air felt heavy, like breathing through fabric. My apartment doesn't have AC. Old building, old wiring, so at night I rely on cross breezes. I open my bedroom window, exactly 1 inch. Just enough for air. Not enough for bugs. Definitely not enough for anything else. I even checked the latch twice. That night, I dreamed someone was whispering my name. Not shouting. Not calling. Whispering, like they were afraid to wake someone else. I woke up around 3:12 a.m. The room felt colder than it should have. My first thought was that a storm had rolled in. My second was that the whispering hadn't stopped. It was faint, almost polite. I lay completely still, counting my breaths, listening. After a few seconds, the sound stopped. No footsteps. No movement. Just the hum of distant traffic and my own heartbeat trying to punch its way out of my chest. I told myself it was a dream. In the morning, everything looked normal, except the window. It was open wider. Not much. Maybe 2 inches now. I stood there staring at it, doing mental math. Had I misremembered? Had I opened it more without realizing? Heat does strange things to memory. So does sleep. I closed it, locked it, took a picture with my phone because suddenly I felt ridiculous for being nervous and needed proof that I wasn't losing my mind. That day, I noticed something else. My bedroom smelled different. Not bad. Just wrong. Like cold air that had passed through a basement. I opened the window again to air it out, this time only a crack, and went to work. That night, I didn't dream. I woke up anyway. 3:14 a.m. This time, the whispering was closer. Not my name anymore. Just breathing. Slow. Careful. Like someone trying not to be heard. I sat up so fast I got dizzy. The room was dark, but not pitch black. Streetlight glow leaked through the blinds, outlining the window. It was open. 3 inches. I didn't scream. I didn't move. I just stared at it, waiting for something, anything to happen. Nothing did. Eventually, I convinced myself I was spiraling. I closed the window, locked it, and shoved my dresser in front of it. I slept on the couch with the lights on. The next morning, my phone was on my bedroom floor. I don't remember bringing it in there. What really messed me up, though, was the photo gallery. The picture I'd taken of the locked window? Gone. In its place was a new photo. It was taken at night. From inside my bedroom. The window was open 4 inches. And in the reflection of the glass, behind where my headboard should have been, something was standing in the corner. Not clear enough to describe. Clear enough to know it wasn't me. I didn't go to work that day. I sat on my couch, staring at the photo until my phone battery died. Every time I looked away, I felt like something was happening behind me, like the air was shifting just out of sight. I checked my locks. All of them. Door. Bathroom window. Kitchen window. Everything was sealed tight. Except the bedroom window. The dresser had been moved. Not far. Just enough to unlock it. I called the police. I didn't mention the photo. I didn't mention the whispers. I said I thought someone had broken in. They were polite. Thorough. Useless. No signs of forced entry. No fingerprints that didn't belong to me. No footprints outside the building. One officer suggested I might be sleepwalking. I almost laughed. That night, I stayed awake. Coffee. Energy drinks. Every light on. I sat facing the bedroom doorway with my phone recording video, convinced that if something happened, I'd catch it. 3:16 a.m. The temperature dropped so fast my skin prickled. The whispering started again. Right behind me. Not from the bedroom. From the hallway. I bolted upright, spinning around, phone shaking in my hand. The hallway was empty. Dark. Silent. Then the bedroom window creaked.
Slowly.
Like someone easing it open, careful not to rush. I didn't look. I couldn't. I ran out of the apartment barefoot, phone still recording, and didn't stop until I was in my car with the doors locked and the engine running. I watched the video later. I shouldn't have. At 3:16 a.m., the camera picks up a shape unfolding in the hallway darkness.
Tall. Thin.
Moving wrong, like it's learning how joints work in real time. It doesn't rush. It smiles. Not with teeth. With recognition. It walks past the camera into the bedroom. The window opens another inch. I'm writing this from a motel 2 towns over. I didn't pack. I didn't go back. I called my landlord and told him I was breaking the lease. He paused before answering. Then he asked, "Was it the window?" Apparently, I'm not the first tenant to leave like this. Apparently, the building was renovated years ago. Walls moved, windows replaced. Something that used to be sealed inside the structure now has a way in. It only needs an inch. I keep all my windows shut now.
Locked. Covered.
Doesn't matter. Last night, I woke up to whispering again. Right next to my ear. There's more room now. I'm moving again tomorrow. It won't help. But I can't stay where the windows know my name. If you're still watching, that means you didn't click away. Most people do. They hear the ending, feel that tightness in their chest, and decide they've had enough for tonight. They close the app. They tell themselves it was just a story. Just audio. Just words. But you stayed. Before you do anything else, I want you to pause for a moment. Don't move. Don't scroll. Don't look at another screen. Just listen. Can you hear anything in your room right now? Not the obvious sounds, the fan, the traffic, the hum of electricity. I mean the other sounds. The ones you usually ignore because they don't make sense if you think about them too hard. A soft creak. A shift of air. Something settling. Now look at the nearest window. You don't have to get up. Just look at it. Is it closed the way you remember closing it? A lot of people assume fear comes from what we see. Monsters. Shadows. Faces in the dark. But that's not how it really works. Real fear comes from noticing something small that shouldn't be there. Something so minor you almost convince yourself it's nothing. Almost. That's why stories like this work. Not because they're about windows or apartments or whispers in the dark, but because they remind you how fragile certainty really is. If you've ever had a moment like that, where you knew something was wrong but couldn't explain why,
I want you to tell me about it.
leave a comment. It doesn't have to be dramatic. It doesn't have to be long. Just say what happened. A sound you couldn't place.
A door that didn't feel right.
A room that felt different when you walked into it, even though nothing had changed. I read every comment. And so do other people. You'd be surprised how many stories start the same way. If this story made you uncomfortable, if it made you check your surroundings, even just for a second, leave a like. Not because it helps the channel, because it tells me you felt it. And if you don't want to face moments like that alone, subscribe. Every week, there are new stories here. New places. New rules you didn't know you were following. Stories that don't end when the video does because they don't stay on the screen. They stay with you. Some people listen to these stories with the lights on. Some listen with headphones late at night, volume just low enough that they can still hear their house. And some people swear they hear something else layered underneath the narration. A pause where there shouldn't be one. A breath that doesn't belong to the voice. That's probably nothing.
Probably.
Before you go, check one more thing. Make sure your phone didn't open the comments by itself. Make sure the volume didn't change. Make sure you didn't rewind without realizing it. And if you feel like something is standing just behind you right now, don't turn around. That feeling usually passes. Thank you for listening. Thank you for staying. Thank you for letting the story in. I'll see you in the next one. Unless it sees you first. Before you leave, I want you to think about something. At some point during the story, you probably adjusted how you were sitting. Maybe you leaned closer. Maybe you pulled your phone a little nearer to your face. Maybe you glanced toward a doorway or a window without even realizing why. That wasn't an accident. Your brain does that when it senses patterns it doesn't fully understand. When something feels familiar but wrong at the same time, It's the same instinct that tells you when you're being watched, even when you can't prove it. Right now, you're safe.
Probably.
But safety is a fragile thing. It depends on routines, on assumptions, on the belief that your space belongs only to you. Stories like this don't break that belief all at once. They loosen it, slowly, quietly. If this story made you uneasy, not scared, just aware, leave a like. That tells me the atmosphere worked, that the silence between the words did what it was supposed to do. And if you've ever experienced something you couldn't explain, something small enough that you never told anyone because you were afraid they'd laugh, this is your place. Put it in the comments. You don't have to explain it perfectly. You don't have to give details. Just write it down. Once it's written, it's no longer only in your head. A lot of people read the comments before they read the replies. A lot of people realize they weren't the only ones. If you don't want to miss the next story, subscribe. Not because you need more horror, but because these stories have rules. And the longer you stay, the more you start to notice them. The patterns, the timing, the way certain details repeat. Some viewers say they only listen during the day now. Others say nighttime feels more honest. A few say they stopped halfway through a video once because something in their house made a noise at the wrong moment. That happens more often than you'd think. Before you scroll away, do one last thing. Listen to the silence around you. If it feels heavier than it did a few minutes ago, that's normal. It usually fades. Eventually. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. And thanks for staying just a little longer than you meant to. I'll see you in the next story. And if you hear something after the video ends, remember, you noticed it first.